Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm back with Copper, my red and white Alaskan Klee, and I've got Skye, my black and white Alaskan Klee. Today I thought I would cover a topic after being inspired by one of our friends, 60 Formula, who has two huskies. And in one of his recent videos that I watched, he discussed the difference between male huskies and female huskies. And it got me thinking that's probably something that I should do on this YouTube channel. Really, because we have got quite a few messages from people on Instagram saying, what sex would you recommend getting your first Klee? And then probably even more common are questions about, we have a male Klee, should we get another male or a female? Or we have a female Klee, should we get a male or a female? So today I thought I would talk about the different characteristics of male Alaskan Klee and female Alaskan Klee. And that is based upon my experience of Copper and Skye. So I should point out that obviously I'm basing this on my dogs. They're not necessarily the same as every other Klee. So Skye might not be the same as every female Klee, and Copper might not be the same as every male Klee, but this is just my experience, and take from it what you will. So to start with, I've got to go obviously to Skye because she is my oldest Alaskan Klee and we got her first. And it's only fair to let ladies go first. So let's learn about the female Alaskan Klee. So one thing I would definitely say about Skye is that she is extremely willful. And when I say that, I mean she really has her own mind and she won't do anything unless she really wants to do it. So we can have toys, we can have treats, we can use all the praise in the world, but sometimes Skye just isn't in the mood and she will be extremely stubborn. So I would say willful and stubborn are definitely two traits that I've experienced with Skye. And I know from friends and other owners who own female dogs, especially female dogs that are Spitz breeds like the Alaskan Klee, they do seem to have a bit of a reputation for being quite willful if they are female Spitz dogs. That is definitely something that Skye has as a trait of hers. Skye paw. Skye paw. As you can see, she can be quite stubborn, so if she doesn't want to do something, then she's not going to do it, like I mentioned already. So another thing I'd say about Skye is that she's very independent and she's definitely not a Velcro dog. She won't follow us around the house all day. As long as she can hear us, then she's happy. And we'll actually find most of the day, especially in the afternoon when the sun hits our bedroom here, that Skye will be relaxing on the bed, just chilling, showing that she really is an independent dog, which is something that's very different to Copper, which I'll touch upon later. So another thing that Skye likes to do is police dogs when she's at the dog park. So when we go to the dog park with Skye, she'll always make sure that all the dogs are behaving. So if she sees dogs that are playing too rough, or if she sees a dog that is perhaps biting another dog's tail, or if she even sees Copper misbehaving, then she's straight over it and she'll do these little barks in their face, but it's not an aggressive bark, it's more of a, don't do that, I don't feel comfortable with you doing that, you're pushing the boundaries too far. And that is something that a couple of other Klee owners that I've spoken to have said that their Klee do too, this kind of policewoman effect. Out of our two dogs, who you probably know well at this stage, Copper and Skye, that Skye is definitely the more dominant dog. So Copper kind of hustles and bustles around the house, but it's Skye who really runs the household, and if Copper steps out of line, she'll be the first one to tell him off, usually before us. So say for example, if Copper gets them in trouble, she'll be straight over to Copper and kind of giving him these little barks like I mentioned that she does at the dog park, kind of telling him, you've misbehaved, I'm not impressed. The same can be said when they play. So they love to play in the bed, which they're on right now. And when Copper gets a bit too rambunctious and a bit too, I wouldn't say aggressive, but a bit too eager to have a bit of rough and tumble, then Skye will tell him off and she'll be straight over to him and she does these little barks like I mentioned that she does at the dog park, saying that she's had enough. So then we've got Copper, and Copper is extremely eager to please. He really wants to keep us happy. And we don't even need treats to train him sometimes. Usually praise is enough, but treats definitely help, as you can see by his reaction a second ago when I said the word treats. So as I mentioned, Copper is definitely the easiest to train of the two dogs, and it's been a much easier process doing so. He knows how to sit, down, spin, touch, leave. His recall is better than Skye's, and I think that's definitely something that I've heard other people speak about in terms of male dogs being more eager to please and just wanting to keep their owners happy, and I guess perhaps not as willful as the female Alaskan Klee and female dogs can be. So another thing to say about Copper is that he's extremely food motivated. So he'll do anything for some treats. He knows when the fridge is open. He knows when the cupboards are open. He's straight over to us when we're eating food. And like I said, when it came to training, Copper was much easier to train because he just loved treats and he would do anything for treats. Now, out of the two dogs, Skye is definitely more social. She loves meeting new people, and whenever someone comes to our house, or if a stranger asks us questions about Skye and Copper when we're out and about, Skye is always the one that will go up to them, and she loves to have her neck scratched. She loves belly rubs. She loves her head being scratched. She loves just playing with people's hands, which is a behaviour that we are trying to discourage. Whereas Copper will just stand by me and my wife, and he'll be very, very close to us. He's very, very shy until he's probably spent a couple of days with you, and then he starts to come out of his shell. So on my experience, I probably would say that female Klee seems to be a bit more sociable. So of Skye and Copper, I would definitely say that Copper likes to sleep more, and he's definitely the lazier of the two dogs. He doesn't like to go running with me. Skye loves to run. We can run 5 or 10k. But Copper, on the other hand, doesn't really like running, and he'll avoid me when he sees me take out the leash that I use for running. And when we used to live in California, we used to go hiking a lot, and albeit Copper was quite young at the time, he would sometimes sit down on the way up the hill and stop, and I'd have to carry him to the very, very top. And then when we started to descend, he'd be interested in taking part in the hike again. So I'd say Skye is the more active of the two dogs, but it's not necessarily a sex thing. That could just be a personality thing. So another thing that Copper has is separation anxiety. Now, it's a chronic canine disorder. It can affect any dog irrespective of breed, and I guess it can affect any sex of dog as well. So I know Skye used to suffer with separation anxiety, but Copper definitely has it worse than Skye. I don't know if that's because he's much more attached to us, and like I said earlier, Skye's very independent, so maybe she handles it a bit better. But Copper doesn't handle it well, and usually when we leave the house for the first 2 or 3 minutes, he'll be barking and howling. He has improved a lot, and he can go 2 or 3 hours now quite happily in the cage, but any longer than 3 hours and he will start to howl because we can see him on the dog camera. So with my two anyway, my male Alaskan Klee definitely has worse separation anxiety. In terms of size, I think Skye definitely is bigger, and she's heavier. She's got longer legs, as you can probably tell from her long legs here. She does look more slim than Copper. He's looking quite chunky in this little clip right now. But she's got a longer body and a longer legs, and overall she does weigh about 0.5 of a kilo more than Copper. I don't know if that's the same with other Klee. I know usually male dogs weigh more than female dogs. So perhaps Copper was the runt of his litter, or he's just an exception, because in the first week that we had him, he refused to eat, and I don't know if that affected his growth and bone structure or whatever. Another thing I'd say is that Copper definitely has softer fur than Skye. It's really, really soft, and it's not that coarse. And when he has a bath, he actually dries out a lot quicker than Skye. Skye seems to have less fluff, and her hair seems to be a bit coarser, a bit straighter. And even though it does feel less thick, she takes ages to dry after a bath, so I'm not really sure how that works. So that brings me to the end of my Alaskan Klee male versus female comparison video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it proved useful. If you own 2 Alaskan Klee who are male and female, I'd love to know what you think are the differences between your 2 dogs. What are the traits that are very much a female Alaskan Klee trait? And what are the characteristics that are very much a male Alaskan Klee characteristics? So, like I said, this is just based upon my experience, and I know every dog is different, so I'm sure other people out there who own Klee may have had a different experience than me. If you haven't already, I'd love if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Life with Klee. You can also check us out on Instagram and TikTok. Life with Klee is our username there. We'll be back soon with another video, but for now we're going to sign off, and thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who has already subscribed to our YouTube. I really appreciate it.